So, what have you been up to? What's new?
Staying inside, staying warm and dry.
Yeah,
This
the
lovely July weather.
weather's been shits.
Yeah, absolute shits. So that's what I've been doing, man. That's about it. Not
If
much
any of you
else on the
guys who
go.
don't know is listening to the podcast, I guess me and Chad are both from Newfoundland, and we're in what we call Capeland weather. So it's rain, drizzle, and fog
Yeah.
for a week or two. And the Capeland, which are small bait fish in the water, like stuff whales and everything eats Capeland. It's a bait fish. They tend to roll in on the beaches here in this time of the year. So the weather matches the fish. But anyway,
Yeah. It's a good time to see the whales. They're putting on quite the show
the whales.
there
You see
recently.
the videos from St. Vincent's Beach? Holy crap!
Yeah, right in close to the beach. Just
Yes,
steady
doing flips and dives and
rolls
breaches.
and yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about
Mm-mm.
summer hockey. It's hockey in July.
Which
So,
means the Leafs are golfing, and we're talking about what they're going to do next.
yep. Signing bonuses in hand. July 1st has passed.
Yeah, I
All
know.
right, guys, I guess without further ado, titter tatter, let's get at her. Here we are,
PHG
episode
Sports.
24 of the Deke Snipe Silly podcast. Brought to you by our sponsors, PHG Sports. That's Pond Hockey Guys Sports, phgsports.com. Everything you need in your memorabilia. I guess on that note, I should mention I was chatting with the owner just before the podcast, actually. And he's got some great news. Their Costco show is getting back on the move.
Nice.
So that's big news. He wanted, not that he wanted to let us know. I guess he just let me know. In passing, I'm going to pass it on to you guys that their showroom actually in Whitby is now open as well. So if you want to check out any of the stuff in person that they've got from their website or otherwise, I'm sure you'll find some stuff there too that's not necessarily on the site. So swing by their Whitby showroom and check out their in-stock merchandise. But the Costco show that they do, their booth will be set up very soon in Niagara Falls. It'll be their first Costco that they're going to be hitting. So keep an eye out for that. Any of you Niagara Fallsians who are out and doing your Costco shopping, loading up on toilet paper for the next pandemic, swing by, check out PHG Sports.
Why not?
So here we are, episode 24 of the
24.
DSC podcast. It's your hosts, Chad Newman, Ryan Gates. It's easy to remember. Yeah, so here we are, summer hockey. We're about, I think, one game away from the season being over. Right now,
Hopefully.
we sit with the Stanley Cup final. Game 4 is going to take place tomorrow night, Monday night. The Habs are in a hole, 3-0. They haven't looked like a formidable opponent at any point during the series, so I'm not really giving much hope that they make it any further. Not that I hope that they do anyway.
Well, it's time for it to end. Let's move on. Next.
Yeah, move on to other things. The draft is coming up. It's not going to be overly exciting for Leafs fans, given that we lost our first round pick this year. Not lost it, gave it away in a trade that didn't really materialize too much for us. So that's unfortunate, but we digress. The draft is coming up, as well as the more exciting thing I think is probably going to be the expansion draft. So
yeah, it should be pretty good.
It's going to be it's an exciting time if you're a Kraken fan. I think there's 3 or 4 of you guys by now. Interesting time if you're the rest of the fan bases. Primarily if you're on a team that's loaded up with pretty good players. A team like the Leafs, who are reasonably talent-ridden, have a bunch of players that they basically have to protect, which is going to leave a couple of guys exposed that I would think are pretty easy pickings for Seattle. One in Alex Kerfoot, he won't be protected, and 2, Travis Dermott. I think that's your 2. If I'm Ron Francis, that's the 2 players I'm looking at leading up to their draft and trying to decide now which guy is a more serviceable player long term for my franchise. What's your take on the 2 players?
Yeah, I think so. I think Engvall might find himself in there. I know he's going to need a contract, but I think he might find himself in Seattle too. He's a very serviceable player. He's a Swiss Army knife per se.
Mm.
So I think you're pretty spot on there. It seems to be the general consensus.
Everything I've been reading, everyone's pointing to Kerfoot, saying that Kerfoot is the player that Francis wants because he's versatile. He's still under contract for a reasonable amount of money. Francis has been given the go ahead from management, from ownership to spend to the cap if he wishes.
Yep.
So it seems like them picking up Kerfoot as a second line center option, slash winger, slash penalty killer. He does it all.
Yep.
That's what they've been linking the Leafs to. But I don't know if that's also might be driven by wishful thinking of Leafs fans, in that they're hoping that we can dump that cap in hopes of maybe re-signing a Zach Hyman, which is what we got to get to, I guess. But back to the Seattle bit. Only thing that throws me with the whole Kraken taking Kerfoot over Dermott is that Dermott right now is an RFA. So if he was to be claimed prior to signing a deal, that would put Seattle in the driver's seat. So they could actually get a more than serviceable NHL defenseman at the ripe age of, what is he, 24, 23?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's not old.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he's a little older than that. But in any case, he's still not over the hill. He's got multiple good years of hockey left. And I think he's got over 300 games. So when you can be in the driver's seat and have that kind of control, lock a player up for 4 or 5 years as an expansion team, because none of their players are going to be locked up that long. You know what I mean?
No.
So when you've got the option to grab a guy like that who can play arguably for a 4 or 5 spot, I think, maybe even a 3. He could probably play a 3-4 spot if he had to on a new team. That's what I would be doing. I'd be going head over heels for Dermott. I still don't think Dermott have peaked yet as a defenseman. He's going to be a late bloomer. I think you're going to see a really good young player. But
yeah, and I mean, and still with Kerfoot, he was playing really good hockey this last season, so I think he's looking pretty good too.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer for Ron Francis. There really isn't.
It depends on who else they got out there.
Oh, something that we haven't talked about is Seattle's new head coach. So, Mr. Dave Hextall, our former assistant coach, is now the it seems like Sheldon Keefe has been raising up some quality head coaches for other teams here.
Yeah, I know, right?
They sent off what's his name to Ottawa last year.
DJ Smith.
2 years ago. Was it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years. Yeah. DJ Smith, he's been doing a fantastic job in Ottawa. Players love him. The fan base seems to have taken to him as well. And they're playing well. Dave Hextall. Now, Dave is a reclamation project from another franchise. He was with who prior to? I say Buffalo?
I was reading it. Good question, man. I was reading that earlier, but I never made special notice.
In any case, he was let go. I always want to say Flyers because Ron Hextall.
I know, right? It's easy.
But anyway, Dave was our assistant coach, and has been picked up by Francis and the boys to hit up the bench there, which always surprised me. There are still some quality coaches available, and
it's Philadelphia.
It was Philadelphia?
It was Philadelphia. Yeah. I was second guessing myself there just because of the Hextall.
Yeah. No, so. I was definitely second guessing myself. I knew Buffalo didn't sound right there, so I was thinking, no, that was that other dude that got fired. But anyway, Philly it is. So but yeah, no, he was our bench boss on, I'd like to say he was running the defense. Does that sound right to you in Toronto? I know Manny Malhotra was special teams.
Yep.
So in any case, he's been picked up by the Kraken, and they're quite excited to bring him in, which leads to, is Gabby going to make an appearance in Toronto, Mr. Boudreau?
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, perfect timing. Just to help, anything you get to help us get us up past that round and figure out what it takes to win.
Yeah,
I think he'd be good.
I unless he lands a head coach job, I can't see him not turn down the opportunity to come to Toronto.
No, that's right. Why not?
And to be completely honest, I don't think that the length of rope is getting any longer for Sheldon Keefe and Kyle Dubas. I really don't, and I don't necessarily blame Keefe for that. But if Dubas's plan doesn't come together here in the next year or two, there's going to be serious talks of replacing him. When you replace a GM, 9 times out of 10, the coach goes too.
So funny because you look at the team that he built, and it's just on the cusp all the time.
I know. I mean, not 3-4 weeks ago, we were talking about Kyle Dubas should win general manager of the year, right?
That's right.
For the team he put together, and I still stand by that. I still think the team was fantastic, but they absolutely laid an egg, and because of that, Dubas looks like a fool.
Yeah, someone that got
his team. So I don't know. It's a tangly one, but so yeah, there's a lot to unravel and a lot of what ifs surrounding Leafs Nation heading into the summer, and all these rumors circulating. I know Chris Johnson from Sportsnet had made a comment on Dangle's podcast that he's heard that there's a big player coming in that the Leafs are going after who wasn't in the playoffs this year on an underperforming team, and that everyone's going to be excited about. And there's lots of speculation around that. Names trolling around like Line A and Seth Jones.
Jones.
Crazy stuff. But I don't even know how you make any of that work. But in any case, it's out there. So there's never a boring time to be a Leafs fan. So
no.
But maybe we should talk about some of the stuff that's actually happened instead of what might or may, or
Well, I guess Simmonds.
Yeah, so we got Wayne Simmonds locked up, brought back.
Wayne trained 2 more years.
2 more years at a discount, what I consider a discount. What I really don't understand about Wayne's contract is that if you're going to take a $900,000 contract, why not just take $750,000? I was like,
yeah,
like, did you need a new mountain bike, Wayne? Like,
yeah. What's the thing? Yeah,
I don't understand what.
I find that funny.
What not leaving that 150 on the table really meant. But in any case, whatever. He's with us 2 more years at 150. I don't think that's a player the Kraken goes after, because that was the first thing everyone said. Oh, he'll be swept up by the Kraken. I don't think the Kraken got any interest in an aging enforcer under a 2-year contract who's going to either walk or retire at the end of it, and then they got nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I don't think, I think Dubas knows that as well. And if not, he's probably already spoken to Vegas or to Seattle. I mean, these guys work this stuff out well ahead of time, a lot of times. Saw deals made and draft picks given up. So it's one of those issues. But in any case, I'm excited to see Wayne back. He was one of those guys that, remember when we did, I think it was the autopsy episode, we said, who do you think will be back? Who would you like to see back? And we all were in agreement that we'd like to see Wayne back, but we didn't think he would be back. So already, Dubas has surprised us, and I'm down with it, man. Like at $900,000, there's no losing with Wayne Simmonds.
Nope.
Better contract in the league than that is Jason Spezza.
No, and he has
So,
I know. League minimum again.
League minimum again. Half a point per game guy last season, all season. Just as good in the playoffs, and still only averaged like 10 minutes a game. It's actually obscene how good he played for the amount of money he's making. So he's playing at much higher clip than over, I can't remember what the percentage was like 70% of the league, and all those guys making millions, and he's producing at a higher clip in less minutes. So that's a no-brainer. Like I knew
making it work for
he
you.
wanted to, and I'm sure after it's all over, like everyone's been suspecting, there's a job on the bench or front office or somewhere for Jason Spezza whenever he decides to pack it in. But I'm cool with signing 1 year until he's 45 if he still plays at any kind of respectable level. So
even half of this right now is worth the $750.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So we got Spezza at league min, Wayne at 900. The question marks around free agency still revolve around Zach Hyman and Frederick Anderson.
Freddy. It's pretty funny. I feel like Zach Hyman, all this drama going on beforehand and getting everybody riled up as usual. I think it's just attention, and whatever happens with Seattle is going to determine what's going to happen with Zach Hyman. And I think everybody knows that. No need for the drama beforehand. It is what it is. Freddie Anderson, I was interested to see that he is absolutely open to a tandem with Jack Campbell, but how much do you pay Freddie if you're going to be, getting half? Do you get paid equal? I'd like to see it under 3 for 1 year.
He's the thing is with Freddie Anderson. I mean, like, I'm not saying he's not worth the $5 million deal wherever he goes to get it. That's not what I'm saying. However, the Leafs in their current situation, he's not a young goaltender anymore. Do you really want to be talking about 4 and 5 year terms with a guy who's creeping up on 30 years old?
Yeah.
I honestly can't see it. They've got some decent prospects in the pool coming up. They've got a reliable backup / starter in Jack Campbell. I mean, Rittich is still available to them if they want to extend him as the backup and run with Jack at the lower cap.
Yep.
But yeah, so Freddie Anderson, I don't know what to say. I'm okay with moving on. I'm okay with seeing. I mean, it seems so foreign to me to be even suggesting not making a run at him, but I mean, we're so cap strapped and top heavy with the top 4, and I'm not one of those people who says trade one of the top 4. That's the team that we built. Dubas is doing a decent job of putting good players around him at a low price.
Yeah,
Jason Spezza and Wayne Simmonds are not that cheap anywhere else, I don't think. So who he brings in now to replace Nick Foligno, Joe Thornton, those guys will be the telltale where Nick Robinson fits on a team. To me, if we've learned nothing from the Montreal series, is that the good young players need to play and need to play significant roles. So we talked about that on the Mark Curtin episode. Mark, if you haven't watched that one, guys, great episode. Yep. Mark talks about his journey through ALS, but also talked a lot about the Leafs. He's still a huge fan, and he made the point quite clearly that if you want a spark, put it in the hands of an 18-year-old. Let him go. So
yeah.
I don't know where this all shakes out, but I do feel like, because there's a lot being made, of course. Oh, Dubas is re-signing the exact same team. No, that's not the case. There's going to be a lot of new faces.
It's also one of the best chances you have.
Yeah, he's picking up some really, really serviceable people at very, very cap-friendly hometown discounts.
Yeah, so this is not exactly going to Costco and taking what you want off the shelf there and what you need out of a player at a cheap discount. It takes time and energy and what's available. How do you do it, right? He's doing a damn good job, and just because it didn't work out, you just can't get mad at everything. So,
well, the funny
Freddie
thing,
Anderson, if cheap, man, I'm good to go.
One thing that's not being talked about, which because you never would with Jason Spezza or Wayne Simmonds, but the fact of the matter is he's purposely signed them at less than $1 million so that if he gets in a pinch for any particular reason, cap-wise, he can dump those contracts and zero cap it. Yep. Right? You can bury that in the minors so fast if one of them gets underperforming or decide who knows for what reason. I just can't see it, but that's the contingency plan. Obviously, sign them for less than $1 million so that you can bury them if need be. So I don't know. There's that aspect as well.
That's right.
Yeah, but Zach Hyman, I guess, be the last thing we need to bat our gums about. So
yeah.
What's your number, Chad? Like, what are you thinking in terms of term and cap hit? That makes sense. I mean, I know what the guy's worth. Comparables, they're talking about people like Tom Wilson and these kind of players who are making $5-6 million, right? But where are you comfortable signing Zach Hyman at, and for how long?
I know it's always got to come down to comparables, but if anything, Nugent Hopkins' contract might make him a little bit more affordable. Because you might be able to get him at less than 5 or maybe at 5 even for 5 years. Or what if you go 4 years at like 5.25? But I'd like to see him under 5, obviously.
Yeah.
But I feel like, man, you're in Toronto, all the big contracts. Why does he take the discount? He puts in all the work.
I know it's not fair to ask him to even do that. But does want to be a part of a contending team. I mean, it's not like teams who are ready to win the cup are going to be lined up to sign Zach Hyman either. They're already all spent to the cap too.
Yeah, and he's probably already richer than all the rest of the players before he even played a game of hockey.
Yeah.
So it's not, I guess it's more about principle and his own achievements.
Yeah, no, and he's a smart dude. That's one thing that
He
Zach got
is, yeah.
going for him. Zach is as involved as any player is in his own negotiations. So,
That's right.
um, he'll do what's right for him and his family. That's the other aspect. Oh, we keep forgetting that this guy's 29 years old now. He's even though he broke into the league the same year as Connor Carrick and William Nylander and these guys all came up that in the tank year. He was significantly older than the rest. So he's 29 years
Played some
old now.
college hockey.
Yeah, exactly. He's looking for a 4 or 5 year deal to carry him into his 30s, and then he'll be on the back end of a decent contract and right off into the sunset on Jason Spezza contracts.
Can't see him anywhere else.
I
can't imagine it happening. Like, he's the guy that you need in the league, and letting one go is just. And I guess he knows that as well, which is hard.
Well, like I said, it's got you made a point not 10 minutes ago. It really hinges on what happens with the Kraken.
Seattle.
If they take Alex Kerfoot, suddenly paying Zach Hyman $2 million plus Kerfoot's contract is not really let out to lunch. Still leaves them with $10 million in payroll to sign another 9 players. Is basically that's what they got to do to fill out their roster. Now that sounds like not much money, but at least 3 of those players are going to be sitting in the press box for the majority of the season. So you're talking about entry level contracts. You're talking about league min contracts for a few guys. More of the same what we've seen last year with Jimmy VC, these kind of guys, reclamation projects. And I'm all for that because you only need to hit on one. It's like throwing darts at the board.
And we can't forget that Amarov is probably going to play some rallies this year, and he might not be down there very long.
I completely forgot about Amarov.
I know. I mean, it's so easy to, and he's just So I mean, that's one thing that there's no hype around this kid, and that's why everyone's kind of disappointed at the draft, and there's still no hope or hype. It's phenomenal. Snipe show. So
well, he's a super talent. You don't go that high in the first round as a scorer.
Get out of here.
So I'm looking forward to seeing him play too. And again, that's a league min contract for the next 3 years.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
Cap friendly.
So there's options.
Top 9 at the very worst. Top 6 forward if you need some youth on the wings. If the thing is, if Hyman goes, I can absolutely see Dubas mixing it up and saying, you know what? Okay, this didn't really work the way I wanted it with the Folinos and with the Galchenyuks. Let's go youth on the wings. Let's stay with our top 4 the way we had them, the top 4 guys in the first and second lines. Let's throw in Nick Robertson on with Matthews. Let's throw an Amarov on with JT, and let's just see what happens. See which one is a candidate for Rookie of the Year, because it's totally possible with those centermen.
Yeah.
So.
And I wouldn't mind taking a smile off some Habs faces. Cole Caulfield, get out of here. Give me some Amarov.
Oh my God!
You want some of that, do you?
Back delete this episode, Chad.
No, man, I don't.
I
stand by it, man. He's a stud.
No, he is. He's good. I have been going back and listening to a few of our pre-playoff predictions. Some people might look at that as some pretty hot takes right about now, myself included.
Yeah. Listen, man, show me one got it right. The Leafs.
Yeah. If you pick the Habs to go to the Stanley Cup final this year, well, good job.
That was a drunk bet. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's it. Well, I got nothing else, man. You're all good. Am I kidding?
Yeah, I'm all good, man. I see the Habs. Hopefully, one more game and it's done. I'm just ready for off season.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that they didn't allow the families to fly in, the Tampa Bay families, which I'm like, okay, it's a game, guys. Like, I know it's their job, but I mean, it's a game. If you want to break the rules or bend the rules in some way, well, they're already doing that by allowing the teams come back and forth. So, just be happy we got hockey again. We've been saying it all year.
Hey, you did this last year. This is old news.
Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Well, guys, if you like what you heard, like I said, this is just a quick hit podcast. We like doing these just to kind of cover off the things that have happened since our last one. If you like what you heard, you can always get us on facebook.com/DeekSnipeSelly. All of our content is there. We got memes and articles and videos. We share everything there. But also you can catch us on Twitter @SellyDeek. Follow us on Twitter. Greatly appreciated. We're no pros at Twitter, but we're working on it. It's a new thing for us. We've also got an Instagram page as well. And I'll link that below, but you can get all of our memes and stuff there. So it's a bit of fun stuff there as well. But our main online content, I guess, would probably be our YouTube channel. That's where you'll get all the podcasts and videos, everything that we share. And that's just simply search Deke Snipe Selly and make sure to hit subscribe. Really appreciate that. As far as our audio feed, that's been on the climb. Our audio feed is doing almost just as well as our video feed now. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio. Everywhere I've looked now, Deke Snipe Selly is showing up in the searches. So we love to see that, and we're getting some attention from all over the world, which is even cooler. Really enjoy that. So yeah, if you got nothing else, Chad, I guess we just say slam that subscribe button. That's right there. And yeah, peace out.
Cheers.